20 August 2022. This skidmark is something that is, in a way, a sensitive topic in South Africa due to the fact that in the world that we are living in today, it is basically impossible to debate issues because every point that you make will be considered and weighed with a woke scale, and people get offended, people feel discriminated against, all that woke shit emotions, but they don't look at the facts. And that is why our country is in the shit that we are in, because racism is always tossed on the table, and discrimination, and white this and black that, and it's and advantage and disadvantage and all types of stories and emotions and things, but never reality, never facts, only emotions or the political bullshit. Now, what triggered me to do this skidmark was this tweet from Bongani Bingwa. Why can't we end the bucket toilet system? The number of houses using this undignified sanitation system is on the rise. Why, after 28 years of a majority government, is this a growing problem? Why are we not getting even the basic problem right? Now, that is a loaded tweet, but what really makes me angry is that he actually knows the answer to many of those questions. There was this response: the majority get what the majority vote for. If the ANC don't deliver, you keep on voting for it. Don't blame the ANC, blame yourself. Empty, shitty promises by the ANC remain shitty promises. And then there was this one. Welcome to 2022, and the point I've been making for years. We told you so. You get what you vote for. I don't feel sorry for you. And there was a newspaper clipping, and the bold, this black working class majority is worse off in socio-material terms than under apartheid. Now, of course, something like that would trigger the IQ 70, 30% pass keyboard warriors on social media like hell. And you can just imagine the responses that was in this. And most of them are typical young keyboard warriors talking through their noses, talking about stuff that they have no idea about. And I'm going to put in the description of this video, I will put a link to a blog post that I did in 2015. You can read the whole article there, it was in Afrikaans. I'm just going to handle a few snippets from it here. South Africa, under white management, was a giant in 1988. In 1988, a German published a book about the white giant of Africa. In 1972, blacks in South Africa owned 360,000 vehicles, more than all the black states in Africa together. Think about that. The monthly income of a black person in 1988 was 352 rand per month, opposed to Malawi and Mozambique with less than 20 rand per month. That is an enormous difference. It is more than 10 times, about 15 times what the other countries were earning. And then this is important. In 1988, blacks could get a complicated heart valve operation for just more than $1. In those days, $1 was 2 rand, roughly. While black Americans had to pay $15,000 for the same operation. In the one Pretoria hospital, between 2,000 and 3,000 of these operations were done per year. In 1970, black labourers earned 1.751 million rand, which is 25% of the total wages in South Africa. And that rises to 17.238 million in 1984, 1,000% growth. And then it was 32.3% of the total wages in South Africa. In 1986-87 financial year, the tax paid by whites were 9,000 million. Blacks, 171 million. Indians, 257 million. And coloreds, 315 million. Between 1962 and 1972, the United Nations paid underdeveloped countries $298 million against South Africa that spent $558 million in the development of the black areas. Think about that. That is facts. That is what happened. And these keyboard warriors of today are clueless about that. But what the fuckers don't understand is the bulk of the infrastructure that is still available for their use today was built by the Apartheid government. The roads, the rails, that was from Apartheid. Eskom, Apartheid. That is what they just don't take note of and doesn't pay attention to. But that's the reality. Where are the infrastructure projects of the ANC? No dams were built. No power stations were built. They're busy with those two. And it is an abortion. And it's almost 10, 15 years that they're building on those two. And here's an interesting tidbit. The South African government managed to secure a coal contract with Japan, but the volume involved was huge. So the Richards Bay coal terminal was developed, a joint project between 4 mining houses and the government, plus the government paid for the construction of the railway line from the coal fields at Woodbank down to Richards Bay. An enormous railway line, fantastic in so many aspects, because it had to handle those huge long trains. And that railway line was built in 18 months. And then, when the development of the coal fields happened at Ellisras, Zuma said there must be a rail link from Ellisras to Woodbank to link up to Richards Bay. How many years ago was that? It is still in the planning stage. There's nothing, not a single meter of rail line. But our roads are fucked up beyond use with the big trucks. And that is what the ANC did for South Africa. But let's get back to the facts. The budget amount for black education rose from 1970 with almost 30% more than any other government department's budget. 30%. From 1955 to 1984, black pupils rose from 35,000 to 1.096 million. By 1988, 71% of the adult blacks could read and write, against 47% in Kenya and 38% in Egypt and 34% in Nigeria. On average, throughout the year, 15 new classrooms per working day for black schools were built. Think about that and look what is happening today. The black schools are falling apart, nothing new is built, and Lesotho runs around trying to fuck the schools up that are still functioning. And that is what You, the black voters, you brought that onto yourself and to all of us. In 1985, there were 42,000 black students in South African universities. And think about today. What the hell is going on today? And they are there in their hundreds and thousands, and very few of them ever finish their degree. And the degrees that they are getting is, to, in my days, we called it tree climbing degrees. All this humanities shit that means economically nothing. Where are the engineers? Where are the doctors? Nowhere to be found. Everybody goes for one of these woke humanity degrees. Human resources shit, in any case. This, and I will put the link in, there's a long article, and unfortunately it's in Afrikaans. But the fact of the matter is, these facts, the blacks do not want to take it into consideration. They don't look at it. All they have, look at the cabinet ministers. How many of them are properly qualified? How many? But this is the problem with the blacks. You are satisfied to be abused, and you allowed that abuse by voting for these people. I mean, you must really think about it. If you want to learn, you want to be taught and instructed by the best that is there. The best brains must teach you, not the blackest skin. What does that mean? What does it help? Just go and look what is going on in the education system. The schools where there are white teachers and white management systems, the students in those schools, black and white, are doing well, and they are performing well, and they get qualifications that are worth something. Look at the black schools. A vast majority of those schools employs illegal immigrants, and the unions is in charge there, and a hell of a lot of those teachers are not properly qualified. Plus, they must handle classes of 40 and 60 pupils. This is what you, the black voters, have allowed to happen to your children, and their future is buggered up by your choice in the voting booth. And now, I'm not going to carry on with this because it makes me very angry, and I will start swearing. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe, share the thing. Have a great evening.